Nangula Uaandja is the first black woman chartered accountant in Namibia, a partner to a leading auditing firm PWC, and sits on numerous committees and boards in the accounting profession. And Nangula Uaandja, the MD of PWC Namibia, is our captain of industry this week. A very warm welcome to you, Nangula. Great to have you on the program.
Thank you very much.
And I know that in past interviews that you've done, you keep playing it down that you are the first African woman to become a chartered accountant in Namibia. And you were always saying that you never really aspired to do this. You just found it so easy. It's quite interesting that you found such a difficult task for most, something that just came absolutely naturally for you.
Yes, I think it's not really to downplay what it is, but I think probably it's something that maybe it does not require as much attention as it gets. Because I tell people I was just busy living my life, doing my passion, what I believe I should be doing, and I think that's what it is. It's part of my life, doing the best of what I can do, of what I need to do at that moment in life. And yes, that is who I am.
You've been working at PwC for a very long time. In fact, that's where your career actually started. And then from being, a junior accountant and just working there during the holidays, you've actually now become a partner. Tell us about that transition.
Yes, I started my holiday job with PwC in 1994 when I was still at university. After I completed university, PwC engaged me to start working as a trainee accountant. I did my studies with a government bursary. When I started working at PwC, the government gave me permission to at least do my 3 years of articles so that I can qualify to become a chartered accountant. After the years and through the experiences and working relationships, PwC decided that they would like to retain me, and therefore they went back to the government and negotiated if they will be able to settle my obligation with government and have me stay on as a manager and grow to the level of partner, and today the managing partner of the firm.
Okay, so given the fact that you've had a very strong transition period that has occurred at PwC and really starting off, as I mentioned, on a holiday basis and working there during the holidays, tell us about some of the successes during that path that actually transformed you into the position that you are in today.
I think an environment of doing articles is an environment of learning. The kind of person that I am naturally and the person that I have grown to be can be seen sometimes as two different persons. I am a person who is an introvert and somebody who wants to stay at home and mind my own business, and I became an accountant actually so that I can stay away from people. So it is through my experience of learning.
That didn't actually happen, did it? Because now you're constantly speaking to people.
Yes, no, being in a position of a managing partner, I think one of the responsibility is to manage relationships with clients, with partners, with staff, with government, and so on. And it is a job that I enjoy today, or a responsibility and role that I actually enjoy today. And I think it is one of the most learning experience that I have at PwC, going through communications, training, interpersonal management skills, and so on, and working with clients from different industries and having to interact with those clients, their staff members, and so on. It's some of the things that have equipped me and that have shaped me for who I am today.
Okay, so I mean, that is obviously a fantastic point of success for you. What about some of the challenges that you actually experienced along the way in getting to the position that you are in right now? And I'm sure also a massive learning curve, experiencing some of those issues.
Challenges in life, and that's why probably something which makes me a bit different is when I face a challenge, I always look at it as an opportunity to grow, an opportunity to make a difference. And when I sit back and I look at my life and say, where were the challenges and what has happened, it is something that is sometimes difficult to pinpoint. I think, like I said, or I've mentioned earlier, being the kind of person that I was previously, not really wanting to interact with people and not very good at relationships, that was a challenge for me to overcome, to relate to the business community and to relate to my clients. And that to me was one of the biggest challenges. And the challenges of currently managing people daily, managing expectation. But I believe that it is, again, one of the areas where it is a growth opportunity that has helped equip me.
But I've also heard that you're very pushy in the workplace.
Am I?
But you're also very caring, and you also, ensure that people do move up the ranks through a lot of hard work. Tell us about how you find that balance as a leader, that you need to be approachable, but at the same time feared in certain instances.
The starting point, as far as I'm concerned with that one, is love. And I have a deep love for for my company. I've got a deep love for my people. I've got a deep love for my client. When I know that everything that I do, every decision that I take is based on that foundation, then it makes things very easy. So if I sit with one of my staff members and I know that I'm being hard on them, I believe that I love them, and whatever I'm doing it to their best interest, to the best interest of the firm, and to the best interest of the client. And that makes it very, very easy for me to manage the relationship, because my people know that I love them very much, and they know that everything that I do, it's based on that love for them, for our firm, for our country, and for our clients.
Okay, so let's talk about clients, and again, let's look at accounting practices across Africa. It's quite interesting to see, financial results that come through from companies across the African continent, very different to the practices that we have here in South Africa. What is your view with regards to getting that on par to international standards? How far away do you think we are?
As Africa compared to international?
Yeah.
I think, yes, Africa is a land of opportunities. We've got a lot of resources in Africa, a lot of untapped market in Africa, and yes, we've got one of the highest population in the world. If you look at it, yes, the entrepreneurial skills in Africa is a little bit of a shortage compared to other countries, and that's where probably other countries are ahead of us, and that's where we are starting to pick up now. That's where you see a lot of business schools that are starting up in Africa, so that they will also help train entrepreneurs in Africa who will be able to take charge of the opportunities that are rising. So most of the entities in Africa today, some of them will be what we call multinationals that might have been based somewhere else and not in Africa. And we probably want to move to a place where, yes, multinationals are welcome in Africa, but we also want to see indigenous organizations and companies that are rising up to take the opportunities.
And I'm sure PWC has a lot of multinational clients
yes.
in the stable. What about the mix between indigenous companies relative to multinational companies, and also the differences in accounting practices? I'm sure you, as an auditing firm, you are the gatekeeper to ensure that things are done in the right manner.
Yes. In Namibia, that is the experience that I have. We try to have a very, very good balance, and so I believe we do. Having a balance of the international linked client as well as the local clients. We've got our corporate department, and we've got the department that look at the small and medium enterprises as well as the private owned companies, so that we've got individuals and departments that are focused in meeting the needs of the different types of businesses. So that helps us. The accounting standard that we use in Namibia is the International Financial Reporting Standard, and that has helped a lot because that is what is linked to, of course, South Africa. It's linked to Europe also. Yes, there are a few companies that have to comply with the generally accepted auditing practices and accounting standard, from example, the US, and that should be, that are listed to the stock exchange there and need to comply with SEC. So we make sure that we train our people who specialize in serving multinational clients that require to comply with SEC, those ones that need to comply with the IFRS, and yes, others that need to comply with IFRS for SMEs.
Would you say, I mean, what is the gap and the lag period between these small SMEs, that you're talking of relative to the bigger companies to comply with IFRS? Would you say that there is a lot of appetite to ensure that things are done correctly?
Yes, there is appetite. I think that, of course, there is a challenge. Big entities can afford to employ, for example, chartered accountants. So you will find one or two or three or more chartered accountants who are just there. One is just to ensure that they are complying with tax laws. This one's to ensure that they are complying with accounting standards and so forth. But a smaller kind of organization might not necessarily afford a chartered accountant, and specifically at this time, given the nature of the laws of supply and demand, there is a lot of demand for chartered accountants. The supply is not that high, and yes, therefore there is a challenge, and you find those companies relying more on the guidance from their auditors on how they should comply. Of course, the appetite is there; they want to comply, but affording the services of the expert sometimes could be a challenge.
And Nangula, if we could also just then delve into the skills base right now in Namibia, and we know that you've obviously been a pioneer within the space. There's a lot of skills that are created within Namibia, but a lot of the people then leave the country. Some do then stay behind. What about the skills drain within Namibia, and not only Namibia, we see this across the African continent as well. For those looking and seeking to find better opportunities, what is your view on this?
Yes. Namibia, I think one of the advantages of Namibia, Namibians love Namibia. So the drainage itself is kind of limited. What is a challenge is, yes, just the number of Namibians that are trained is a little bit of a challenge, and that comes sometimes from our educational financial institution or educational institutions. We are linked to South Africa. We are proud of that relationship, and yes, most of our students have to come to South Africa to further their studies and to acquire the degrees that will enable them to be employable, if one can put it that way. So yes, that skills is based on that, and that's why our Minister of Education is currently reviewing the whole education system to make sure that from pre-primary to secondary and tertiary education, the programs and the curriculums are designed in such a way that they meet the needs and the desires of the market.
Obviously, you know, coming through from also a lot of challenges that you experienced as a young girl, and we'll get into that in just a bit. How did you first hear about accounting and decided, well, I want to be a chartered accountant? It's something really specific, and if you're not exposed to it, you might not even know that it exists.
It is interesting because I've never done accounting until at university, and that is my second year at university. So growing up, I knew that I wanted to become a doctor, a scientist, architect, anything to do with science. And that's why in high school, I did every subject that you can think of that is relating to science. But yes, my father was a business person, and when I grew up, I knew the challenges that he had to face with complying to tax and to tax laws and so on. So one day I got up and I thought, in the family, I'm the one that has got a mathematical kind of background. I need to start helping my father and maybe other people that are facing the same challenges. What is that I need to do? First, I thought it was economics. So when I registered at university, I registered for Bachelor of Economics. And then the second year, or rather towards the end of the first year, I had, no, it's not economics, it's accounting. And I used to meet a lady who's a chartered accountant that I really loved, just the way she appears and who she was. And I thought, I think I want to do what she does. So that's where it all started. And I started writing to SICA at that time, is the body that I came to know about, and finding out how do I become a chartered accountant, what do I need to do. And yes, the next year, in my second year at university, I moved from Bachelor of Economics to Bachelor of Commerce.
Okay, on that note, we're going to go to a very short break, and when we come back, more with Nangula Uaandja, MD at PWC Namibia. Don't go anywhere.